I can barely remember their name. So we're trying to keep everything uniform. So hit that YouTube or Facebook, hit the spot 1006. Okay. So now we're going to get started. Hopefully y'all got that chicken that y'all cooked on Sunday and y'all don't know what to do with it. We're going to do something with it today. If not, y'all should have just picked up the pre-cooked bag of chicken. We're not going to use the whole bag of chicken, but we're going to use some of it, okay? And the pie crust. So before we get started, we're just going to unroll our pie crust so they are ready. And we're going to put the bottom pie crust. We need two. One for the bottom, one for the top. I hope you have your 9-inch pan. We're just going to put the one crust at the bottom. We're not going to cook it ahead of time. You can. If you do that, though, I would suggest that you kind of wipe it down with a little egg wash or some butter. It'll make it be a little crispier. But we are not going to do that, okay? We're just going to lay that right there, and then we're going to get started with our mixture for the chicken pot pie. Now, as you can see, I have two pots. One is for the chicken because this chicken has no flavoring, and, you know, we have to season our chicken. And the other one is to make, like, the broth, okay? So, first, we have our butter. Y'all know I don't measure, boo. Okay? So, we're just going to add some butter. I'm sorry for you health conscious people. I'm not there yet. I need to be, but I'm not there yet. Okay? But we're just going to add. I added half a stick of butter. And I am going to add maybe a little over half of this bag of chicken. Yeah, that's good. And then I'm going to season the chicken. And everybody knows my seasonings is called the Trinity. It's very simple. It's nothing but the coarse ground pepper, the garlic, granulated garlic powder, and the seasoning salt. Lawry's. I don't trust no other seasoning salt. Lawry's seasoning salt. It's the only one I trust. So we're just going to turn that on. And it could be on like a medium high. The chicken is already cooked. So really we're not doing anything but kind of like melting that butter and getting those seasonings inside the chicken. With the other pot, we're going to start. We're going to set that on medium high. And while we're over at the stove, we're going to set our stove to 425. 425. So it's already preheated. Everything will be nice and hot. Now in this skillet, and this is a little deviation from the recipe, but I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is so much quicker than the recipe. I like to see y'all jumping through hoops like I have to do this show. So that's why you have that long recipe. But I'm going to show you the easy way, okay? Promise. So we are going to add our other half of the butter, okay? And as you can see now, butter is healthier for you than margarine. I don't use margarine. I know it is cheaper. I know, but I'm telling you, butter is way, 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 way better for you. And we're just going to add the Trinity seasoning. And for those that don't know about the Trinity seasoning, it is nothing but the celery, the onion, and bell pepper, okay? And most times I try to keep a bag of this in the freezer because I use it for almost like everything. Meatloaf, get a little Trinity seasoning. Spaghetti, get a little Trinity seasoning. Chili, get a little. So, I mean, to have one of these bags around, it costs, this one costs $1.29. And to have that bag, it cuts down on a lot of cutting up bell pepper and onion. So We're just going to add a little bit of that. And you don't have to season that, okay? And we're going to just stir that up. And while that's melting, we're just going to stir our chicken. Like I said, all we're doing, because the chicken is already cooked, and then we're going to put it back in the oven. We're going to put it in the oven, so it's going to cook some more. So you're really not trying to cook it. You just want to get those seasonings in there, okay? So we are going to just stir that up a little bit so I can mix up that seasoning, salt, and that pepper onto all of the chicken. So when you bite into it, every piece of chicken has that flavor, okay? Told you, butter. Had to add a little more. Because we are using this for broth. Now, while this cooks, ladies, I know the ladies watched because I watched it. And I watched it again for like the third time. I was just so impressed. But Beyonce's Black is King. What did y'all think about that? I'm like, that girl, you know, she didn't graduate from high school because she was always on the road and stuff. And, you know, people would think that she is not in tune with her blackness. But she really hit the spot with Black is King. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Just listening to some people's take on it, I actually had to watch. That's why I watched it 3 times, because it was like, wow, they gave me a different insight to what she was, the message she was trying to convey. So it was really good. If you haven't seen it, look, go ahead and watch that. It is worth the hour. I think it's like an hour and a half. It's worth it. And I did not, and I'm a Beyonce fan. Beehive, don't beat me up. I didn't really care for the Lion King soundtrack, but after watching Black is King and listening to the music while I'm watching that visual, it's like I got a really good appreciation for the album. Like, the album is the bomb. So we're just going to stir that and stir. Like I said, we're not cooking the chicken. It's already done. We're just going to stir it. If you did buy the bag of chicken, really all you want to do, it doesn't even matter if it has a brown tint to it, because nobody's going to notice the brown tint once it goes inside the pot pie. Okay? So that's cooking. And with our shell, you just want to take your fingers and make sure that it reaches all the way up. Now this do not. Now, ladies, gents, let me tell you one of my little secrets. I always get 4 pie shells, because in a 9-inch, it never covers. So we're going to open this one. And you don't have to put the whole thing, but I like crust, so it doesn't matter. And we are going to put this right here, because you want it to kind of overlap. That way when you put your broth in, it won't spill out. It'll still be in. So, like I said, just mash it down, mash it down. There we go. Whew. I'm using my muscles today. I used my leg muscles today. I went for a walk. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with the area that I stay in if you live here in Georgia. But I live in Marietta, maybe about 2.5 miles from the square, downtown Marietta. And I decided that I was going to get up this morning and walk to Marietta Square. And let me tell you, the walk there, it wasn't that bad. It was the walk back, because when you get there, you realize, damn, I walked all the way down here, and you got to get home. So, and besides that, they told me that Uber would take like 20 minutes to get to me, so I would have been home anyway. It doesn't matter. Okay, so now that this has melted, as you can see, it's all melted, we're going to add our flour. And the flour, you want to kind of gradually add the flour and mix it in, because like I said, what you're doing with this is making like a roux, okay? So you don't want it to be clunky. You want it to be a smooth mixture. You don't want it to like I said, be all clunky and stuff. So just a little bit. Now, ladies and gents, I know the recipe called for us to cook the vegetables. We have frozen vegetables. There's no need to we don't have to do that. Okay? If you have the bag of vegetables like I suggested on Friday, then you don't have to worry about cooking, because like I said, everything is going to cook in the oven. That's why I say this recipe is like the simplest recipe that you can make. So, like you see, it's a nice roux. It's not chunky at all. And with this roux, we're going to add our chicken broth, okay? And like I said, you're not adding a lot at first. You just want to add a little bit and stir that just a tad. Add some more, because as you can see, it's thickening. So we're just going to add some more, because you want it to be smooth, okay? So we're just going to stir that up just a little bit more. And to this roux, we are going to add just some salt and pepper. Now, ladies and gents, this is another secret. This right here is also how you can make like your vegetable soups, your chicken noodle soups, your chicken vegetable soup. Just this right here. Any leftover chicken, this same procedure. Instead of putting it in the crust, you put it in the pot. Add more broth, and there you have a chicken noodle soup. A chicken vegetable soup, anything. Okay. So now that is done, and now I'm going to add the vegetables. And it says about 2 cups of vegetables. Yeah. Me, I don't like to add a lot. You want the flavor of the vegetables and the chicken. So, 2 cups, that's good enough. You want to stir that up. And as you can see, it's thick, which is good, because like I said, once it goes into the pie crust, that's what you want. So we're going to put our little salt in it. And y'all know I love the coarse salt. How many people have started using the coarse salt? I hope y'all like it. You don't have to use as much because it's a coarse blend. That's why I like it. You don't have to use as much. So there you go, as you can see. Okay. Who said that? Brianna, you could shut up. And just for that, I think I'm going to sing Brown Skin Girl, because that's what I've been thumping in the car while she want to talk. Okay, so just add a little chicken to the mixture. And as you see, don't that look good? Add some more broth. like I said, you want it thick, but you don't want it too thick because it got to go in the oven and it has to cook. So because it has to cook, you know, you don't want it to be so thick where it doesn't get a chance to actually cook. There we go. Add some more chicken. I'm going to add some more vegetables. And this is our mixture. See? Now, wasn't that simple? Real simple. I told you guys. I ain't going to steal your ring. I promise you. If I could cook it, y'all could cook it. So. Okay. So now, voila. It's ready. Okay? And it's ready for you to add. You don't want to overfill, so kind of go slow. And don't worry if it should have this amount of broth. Don't worry about it. That is perfect because once it, like I said, once it cooks in the oven, you want that broth. When you open up the pie, when you cut a slice, you want that broth. So there we go. And we're going to just smooth that all around. I'm not singing, Brianna. I'm humming. It's a difference. So I could do that. Okay. So now I'm going to add the other pie crust to the top. And my thing, don't worry about if it's hairs or not, because we have to do slits in it anyway. So if it has a tear, that's perfectly fine. It's fine. And then you just want to fold that over like the. I am not an artist, okay? I cook food. The food is good, but plating is not my thing. Add the pie crust. And like you see that little tear, that's good. That means I don't have to try to slit it. But you put your pie crust on like so. And like I said, you just want to bunch it up at the ends. Make sure the juices will be able to stay in. If you guys can make it pretty, please make y'all's pretty. And send me pictures. You know, maybe y'all need to do a how-to. Because my stuff, this stuff do, as you can see. But it's good, though. So, crunch that up here. And we're going to do our little slits. So you just want to do maybe about 5 slits on the top. Just so it can breathe. There. And now it's time to put it in the oven, okay? So we're going to place it in the oven. Your oven should be already preheated to 425, and we're going to let that cook for about 35 minutes. And as you guys know, while we are letting that cook, we have the sounds today of T-Nashae. Hey, T-Nashae.
Hey, Tammy. How you doing?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited about chicken pie.
So this recipe, it seems like a lot of people are going to try to do. Because like I said, this is so simple. And everybody always had that leftover chicken. And it's like, what do I do with it? So This is a little simple idea. So T-Nashae,
All right,
I'm gonna turn it over to you. And like I said, guys, have it in the oven for about 30 minutes. And when we get back, we'll be ready to take it out. So I'm turning it over to you.
okie dokie.